Today's video will definitely rub a few people in the wrong way. It depends on how you look at music or if you're even open to music. But the video is by TMRO. I'll have it linked in the description box. Big shout out to Don Cannon, man, because you really hold it down. Also, a quick segue. Zaytoven will be at Guitar Center June 18th. Out here in Atlanta, the Atlanta Guitar Center, Brookhaven, basically. And it'll be not only him, it'll be Bolo, the producer. It will be Jan Hunter Jr., Beats by J Black, respectfully, and then Andy Mack doing his thing. So, yeah, I found out about that by sliding over there to Guitar Center or whatnot. So, if y'all wondering, just go over there. Make sure y'all visit y'all local music store if you make music. You feel me? Let's go ahead and start though.
Do you think it was important that you kept the sound or you just did different things? I know coming up, I always wanted to change my sound. I felt like I was going to run into a dead end if I kept doing the same thing. If people was like, yo, that's a Canon sound. But it also developed in the Canon sound. I don't know what it was. It might have been the textures or whatever it was. Did you ever say, man, I got to switch up my sound?
Well, I think with Don Cannon, and just to be honest and fair to him, as a sample-based producer, there's not really much that you can do to kind of distinguish your style other than having some of the most lit drums ever. Using the word lit in Big 2026 is crazy, but just having the best drum sound selection, and then you can basically shine in that manner. And a lot of Don Cannon stuff shine because he had the drums, you feel me? And he had a good ear for a great sample, obviously.
Because it's gonna get played out, or you just like, man, I just do this the best out of anybody that's ever gonna come forward?
I don't think I had time to really think about switching my sound, man. It's just like the type of artists that was coming to me, they was coming to me for the sound that they've been hearing. So, and it just happened so many times over and over again. Even as the years went on, even as new artists came to me, it's like they still looking for that sound. And I remember at one point I was like, man, I'm ready to switch. I'm a musician. I'm bigger than this. I can switch up my sound. And I started trying new things. And you know how you in the studio and you start playing the artist the beats or whatever, and they listen like, what are the beats that like I was hearing Gucci and the like, you know what I mean? So it started once you start. You get enough of that, it's like, man, I gotta go back to what's finna give me some money right now.
Facts.
People coming with
To be fair to Zaytoven, almost every producer that gets hot at a certain time period, they go through this where everybody wants the exact same thing. And funny enough, as an up-and-coming producer, one of the biggest things that used to be a pet peeve for me, and I didn't really care at that time, but as time went past, I started caring, is that a lot of the artists, if they couldn't get to a Zaytoven or a Shawty Red, because those two were dominant when I was making beats and stuff like that, and going to, you know, just different places and working with different artists out here in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? They will always ask for that particular sound, and that's why I think we have this pocket of type beats type shit, because Zaytoven probably is the most emulated type beat producer ever. I remember forums and stuff like that. People wanted to know what he was using, and it was all hardware, and damn near everybody was using Fruity Loops. So you really couldn't get that exact sound until certain plugins came out, and you know, certain people started clipping out drums from tracks that had instrumentals where it was spaced to where you can get the snare and stuff like that. I mean, I know the strategies, gang. Y'all ain't fooling nobody, but yeah. That is pretty disappointing when an artist continues to ask for the same stuff, and a lot of people, they say, oh man, Zaytoven stuff sounds the same. Bruh, he's explaining why now.
these brown paper bag, they want that. When they hit them beats, here go the money, bro. I need them to be
Facts.
You play with all the other stuff with somebody else. And what really made me feel like I have to just stick to my sound and just enhance my sound is when I wanted to do something for like bigger artists.
But you had the cheat code, you was playing.
I could play, but
so you could just probably say, yo, oh, you want that sound? Here you go. I'm
Right.
a sampler, so it's like, man, if I don't find nothing in that space,
but I started learning that.
Felt.
They
Love that
didn't want
Rockefeller
nothing.
jersey too. That shit fire.
Man, I just did a song with Tasha Cobb, just a gospel artist.
Yeah,
like I'm a
Tasha.
fan of Tasha Cobb.
Yeah.
Gospel singer meets trap producer. That sounds like an interesting combination. I would definitely listen to that gospel album. I listen to gospel anyways, but you know,
And it's just amazing how it's this many years later, and it's still the sound. The sound we're looking for is the Zaytoven sound. Like, don't give us something that we go somewhere else and get something else. Give us, what you do. And it's like it's been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing that all these years, all these artists I work with, they still. I need that Zaytoven sound.
That's dope. One of the things I also wanted to touch on was sounds. So I was a hoarder of sounds. I wanted to have every record, every keyboard, every drum sound. It seemed like you only had a set of drums and your keyboard. Do you think that contributed to the party of success?
Definitely. And I was one of those guys that I got to that point where it was like, man, I want all these drum kits. I want all these different sounds. But when it came down to, like, I always used to make stuff on the spot. So when it came down to, I got to produce right now on the spot, I got to go to what I know.
Go to my bag of tricks.
I gotta go to what I know. And the more you get to doing that, the more it's like, man, I ain't got time to go through all the other stuff, So, and that will.
Yeah, I just think that's a trap. I think honestly, it's a trap to, and funny enough, he's saying that while he has nothing but equipment around him. This man got damn near every keyboard. It's kind of like a contradiction, but it's not. Like, you have the Nord, yes. He has multiple MPCs. I see he has the XL now. He has the MPC XL. Matter of fact, if y'all want this MPC, I think he traded his in over there at Guitar Center, the one I was just talking about. That's why it's kind of relevant that I bring it up. Him and Jermaine, so you might get the So Def splash. If you go over there to Guitar Center, you can get their MPC, and hopefully they save something on the main drive, and you never know.
It'll get you lost. You get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Especially with all this new stuff, man. They give you VST. There's so many sounds and so much to go through. I don't even think a producer can make a identifying sound now if they play with too many sounds and plug-ins.
That's not even the point. These days, they don't care. They don't care. I'm about to get on the soapbox, bro. They don't care. They just want the exact same thing that whomever uses it. A lot of the times when I've ran into, especially when creating sounds, I just noticed that many people just want the exact same sounds or something similar to like you. And this is where I want to talk about like Zaytoven and his quote unquote sound. Like, as someone that has produced out here in Atlanta for almost 30 plus years, I would say, bruh, when Zaytoven came around in like the early 2000s, his sound was not what everybody knows it is today. It wasn't. Matter of fact, you can see some glimpses of his original sound when he produced for Gucci Mane's Trap House album. The So Icy, that is more akin to what Zaytoven was doing in music production at that time. It wasn't nowhere near as formatic, I guess that's the word. It was nothing like that. It was like So Icy and actually more diverse, I would say. And big shout out to Archie. For those who are real ATLians, you know who Archie is. He had a song called We Ready. He also had a studio that we all used to come up out of. And there was some, I used to drop my beat tapes off over there to Archie because I wanted him to do his thing on there. Then I started rocking with a cat named Real, which sung Man, I Miss My Dogs on Lil Wayne's album. And I heard Zaytoven back then. Like, he played like Zaytoven's beats, and they were not anything like the stuff that he put out. The matter of fact, I would say that Zaytoven to this very day would be more proud of those beats than he are of the ones that got him the money. I mean, you got to get to the paper somehow if you want to have a career or whatever. But Zaytoven's sound was totally different. Matter of fact, I think. And I gotta say it, and then this is the perfect time to say it. Shawty Redd doesn't get a lot of credit for what he did in the early 2000s with quote unquote trap music, because even though the sound quote unquote has transcended, the very basis of it came from him. And not to say that Shawty Red sound or Zaytoven just totally emulated Shawty Red sound, but it was inspired without a shadow of a doubt. Shawty Red was producing for damn near everybody out here. You know what I'm saying? And Shawty Red, big shout out to my broski, because one of the things he always would tell me, he's like, man, bro, he say you too soft. And I've heard that before. I used to hear that when I played ball, and then I became more of an animal, and then people didn't like that shit when I was doing my thing. But you know, that's exactly what it is. You got to become an animal out here in these streets if you really want to make things happen. But how do y'all feel about that? I'm not gonna go through the whole entire thing. It was just a little bit left, anyways. Big shout out to Zaytoven. Much respect to you, my brother. Look forward to seeing you June 18th. You know, it's before Juneteenth, June 19th, which is on a Monday. I don't know. I ain't gonna look. I don't know the schedule or whatever. I just found out by casually going into Guitar Center and looking for something that I wanted, didn't have it. And then I just ended up doing a video over there. And I appreciate everybody at Guitar Center for allowing me to do a video over there, because it was inspired by just walking in, looking for a certain keyboard, and it wasn't there. But yeah, I definitely think this is food for thought. I think a lot of the producers these days, and as a closing statement, especially if we're talking about the younger generation, they're just so template based. Like they just all they want to do is just sound like this person, that person, and hell, if it wasn't for a tag in your beat, I don't even think a lot of you dudes, like nobody would really care who it was. Nobody would care who made the track, because a lot of y'all do sound the same. But can you blame them, or do you blame the artists that come to them, or just how the industry is? That's what I want to know in the comment section. We out this bitch.